Stand up because I can't see everyone. I'd first like to start by thanking the Honeysuckle Creek Ward electorate for voting me in with a majority. And I'd also like to thank a lot of my supporters who are in this room and broadly even. I have had a lot of supporters for giving me the confidence to run. I think yeah, that was huge. And I found it really hard to write my election campaign material because it's such a diverse ward, the Honeysuckle Creek Ward, and it's such a diverse shire, and I wanted to write something that I was both comfortable with, but that also would resonate, and it was a really tricky thing. But ultimately what I did was reflect on my upbringing, a lot of that. So I grew up in a rural area in Gippsland, where my dad, who's here tonight, was a farmer, a member of Lions, member of Apex, where my mum was a local hairdresser and she was councillor and Shire president. And so all that combined, I think, really instilled in me a great community pride, community volunteerism, a hard-working attitude, and I think pragmatism to get stuff done and get it done in a real sort of pragmatic way. Pragmatic is a P word that resonates more with me than passion. When people say, what are you passionate about? I go, my dad's a farmer, my mum's a hairdresser. I didn't have much passion given to me. So it's those roles, it's those fundamental values, I think, plus the 15 or so years that I've done community work in this region, that I think puts me in good stead to be and run the role of councillor to the best of my ability. And that's predominantly what I'll bring to this table. I just wanted to quickly say something about the organisation that I've just joined as an elected representative and my vision for it. And by organisation I mean Strathbogie Shire Council as a whole. So I want to be part of an organisation that truly embeds itself within the community, that really relates and resonates and sees the relationship with the community as one of equal, no matter where you are in the Shire or which community you feel you belong to. I want to be part of an organisation that does really good forward-thinking strategic planning. And I want that strategic planning to involve community aspirations and community visions and community technical input as well. But I also want to be part of an organisation that translates that strategic planning down to really good, achievable action plans, and that empowers both the community and its staff to deliver on those action plans. I also want to be part of an organisation that is very financially accountable, so that every budget line can be queried, so that anyone who is interested can look at that budget line, know exactly how it got there, know what criteria it was behind it that made it get there, and know the timelines and the responsibility of who's delivering it. But I also want to be part of an organisation that's socially accountable and environmentally accountable as well. And I want to develop good measurements on how we go, good indicators to measure how we're going on those two things. And just lastly on that point, I want to be part of an organisation that views climate change as one of the biggest threats to our future prosperity. Climate change will affect first and foremost our farmers, the elderly in our region, the young families, the less abled, the marginalised, and our infrastructure. It will place a tremendous burden on the Shire's budget and the Shire's business model. And I know we can't solve it completely, but I want to be part of an organisation that is actively transitioning to adapt to that and also to mitigate its full effects. And my final point, before I sit down, is I want to leave you all with a challenge, because you're all here as community leaders. So my challenge is to everyone in this room, both at the table and in the public gallery, is we need to revision, rethink, reclaim the language about what it means to be a councillor in rural areas. You're all community leaders, you all have skills, you all have knowledge, you all give that to the community in some way. So then why isn't the natural progression for you to all be aspiring to be a councillor? A councillor shouldn't be something that we do begrudgingly. It shouldn't be something you do because you're retired, just happen to be retired, or it shouldn't be something you do because you want to get out of the home and away from your wife, or you're bored during the winter months, or you're using it as a stepping stone to somewhere bigger and better. It actually is the fundamental manifestation of our grassroots democracy. We should all be aspiring to it. So my challenge to everyone is to start reclaiming the language around it, start revisioning what it is, so that it is something that we are all aspiring to be. Thanks.